Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I've been thinking about whether I should use English or Mandarin, but I think I stick to the original plan. I use English as the way to deliver my note. So you heard from our financial secretary and also Christina from the SSC, the official line about the development of the Web3 economy in Hong Kong. And as a legislator, I think what I'm going to share is my own expectation. Doesn't mean the government line, but I've been involved in the Web3 development in Hong Kong, so I have a lot of expectation, that we can build this into a huge ecosystem and financial system in Hong Kong. So what stage are we in, Web3 in Hong Kong? Of course, we share a lot of progress from the government side, but how do other people feel us? I looked up a few surveys that how do they rank Hong Kong. According to the crypto transaction value, actually we see great improvement, a great surge in 2024, where we see 85.6% increase in crypto-related transactions in Hong Kong. And according to Chain Analysis, the Global Cryptocurrency Adoption Index ranking, we are now the 30th, and that's in 2024. And if you look at 2023, we are 48th. So we have a big improvement from 23 to 24. And in Asia, according to the Henley Crypto Adoption Index, we went from 2023, we are number 4, to the 2024, we ran second in Asia. So these are what, outside survey rank Hong Kong with only 1-2 years of work. And of course, this is only crypto related. What we're doing in Web3 is a lot bigger than just crypto trading alone. So as Financial Secretary mentioned, we have formed task force in the last 2 years to look at, how we build up the Web3 ecosystems in Hong Kong to provide safety to investors, but at the same time, provide innovation to innovators. So this is a huge thing we have to do to balance the development of Hong Kong. And I see in some chat group recently that, there are some comments saying Hong Kong, we are more welcoming to institutional, digital asset players, but not to the crypto native people. I think, if you look at the ambition of Hong Kong building a Web3 ecosystem. If you look at the financial markets, if you want to be the global financial markets, which we are in Hong Kong, well, you cannot only have equity, but not bond market, right? You cannot only cater for professional investors, but not to retail investors. You have to actually have compliance, governance, regulations, and market for all participants in that market if you want to be leader in that particular industry. So if we want to be Web3 leader, or Web3 hub globally, I think we have to be very holistic, but not just, working on the regulations that favor institutional investors, but also definitely we have to look for a way to accommodate the crypto native people. So with that task force, we work on with different government departments involved and also industry experts to give opinions and comments of the development of Hong Kong in the Web3 ecosystem, which I'm also a member of. And I have to speed up. So for the last 2 years, we've done a lot since the Financial Secretary's statement in 2022, December, when we announced the 2022 October, where we have the policy statement. So it's only a bit more than 2 years. I used the same chart this is my 3rd time since the first year of our Web3 festival. And every year we're adding some new stuff to it. So apart from the statement being announced in 2022 October, we've done the AML bill, which allow for the virtual asset trading platform, VATP license to be granted. And we also, the government have lead by trying out new tokenized products like the government green bond and also products that Christina just shared in the ETF level. And we're looking forward to the second virtual asset policy statement, which will be announced soon, hopefully. And we are doing some other policy changes in Hong Kong. We have just finished the debate on the stablecoin bill in Legislative Council. So I look forward the bill will be passed in Legislative Council in May. And I look forward to stablecoin issue in Hong Kong by second half this year. And then we have the virtual asset OTC doing the second public consultation. Hopefully, it will come to LegCo soon. And we have the VA custodian, which are all important regulations related to the development of Web3 and digital asset products and virtual asset products in Hong Kong. So things we have done in the last 2 years, as mentioned by the FS and Christina, we tried out new products, the ETF based on futures and also based on spot cryptos. These are new stuff, and we're happy to learn about the staking thing. Christina just announced, which is also a new breakthrough in the Hong Kong government and SFC. We licensed 10 VATP exchange in Hong Kong, and there are 8 still pending. So I hope there will be a few more, coming. And next, I'm really happy to see SFC share the Aspire 2 months ago. The idea of Aspire, I won't elaborate, but it's not just on the regulatory side, but shows SFC's approach to also promote the development of the market. And my sharing today will only focus on one thing of this Aspire, which is the P, the product. So product which will be important for Hong Kong to build up our Web3 ecosystem. If we look at globally, going back how different countries are legislating on crypto and virtual assets, we see that the blue bar, which are the advanced economy. For advanced economy, actually 59.5% have regulated virtual assets, or with an AML regulation, which is 14.3%. So more than 70% of the advanced economy, they have regulated this industry. And for the developing or emerging economy, which they also include Hong Kong, Singapore, and Dubai as the emerging economy, only 19.8% have regulated with comprehensive framework, and 5.3% regulated with AML. So around 25%, 1/4 of the emerging nations, they have, regulated the V8 industry. And interestingly, with the advanced economy, which include the United States, a lot of these advanced economy, they do regulate Web3. Only 20% of them, many of them, these 20% of them, they apply existing rule. You see the advanced economy, they regulate virtual assets, but they use existing rule mostly to govern this industry. Where the emerging market, like Hong Kong, Singapore, Dubai, we have set out a bespoke rule. So we come up with our own set of new legislation to run this virtual asset industry. And within this, if we want to be holistic, there are many things in the industry we have to look into legislation or regulation. So these are the product side we have to look into. Staking, we're happy to hear from Christina. We have this policy now on the staking. Mining, derivatives, lending, the multiple of lending, payment. These are all things we have to set out for the industry to understand, what can be done and what cannot be done in Hong Kong. And the range of service, we have the exchange services now, we have the VATP license, but what about broker-dealer? Who can deal, what's the procedure of the broker-dealer involved? Custodian, we look forward to the custodian license very soon, and advisory. And of course, in the regulatory approach, product listing, this is important. What can be listed in Hong Kong? So, there are many things more. We still have to, come up with, a set of governance in Hong Kong to actually get everyone into the market. And definition of product, how do we define the product? Because we all know this is a new market. How do we define crypto? Or what is Bitcoin? This actually lead to a long discussion over the years. Xiao Zhong actually yesterday laid out 5 definitions of the tokens. Having these with a legal friend, actually categorized into 4 different kind of products, but actually similar to what Xiao Zhong mentioned in the 5 category, because they group the crypto, BTC and Ethereum together. But Xiao Zhong actually mentioned BTC as one category, and then utility-related crypto, like Ethereum, they are a second batch with a smart contract related. And then we have tethered tokenization product, which are things with underlying assets, CBDC, stablecoin, RWA, security token. These are all things with underlying securities or assets or service underneath. And then there are untethered tokenization where you have NFT, meme coins, etc. And of course, we have utility digital tokens, which is kind of similar to Ethereum, utility related. So this is how we categorize, how virtual asset can divide into. And then we can look at, how do we deal with these things and what other countries are doing, Everyone, the spotlight is definitely on the US, where, you see a lot of, you heard a lot of about the progress in the US. I think we have many experts today here to share about the US development. But, the development, they come into a different 180-degree change in coming from an enforcement-based regulation to a direct legislation process, where you see a lot of bills being discussed in the US. And then the stablecoin is actually progressing really fast. I was saying that we were at the LegCo discussing the stablecoin bill for the last 3 months. And in the process, every month when we have a meeting at LegCo, there are updates from the US about the stablecoin bill. So we have to update ourselves every month when we meet about the progress in the US. So also, I think on last week, the US also come up with the covered stablecoin, mentioned. The covered stablecoin would be a product, it's not a security. So there's a clear guideline from the US, which is, kind of useful for us to look at. And then strategic crypto reserve, not Bitcoin reserve. Everyone was expecting strategic Bitcoin reserve, but it was kind of, something of a dispute that, it's actually come out as a strategic crypto reserve that the US mentioned with a basket of different crypto, and why some cryptos were involved actually, caused a big debate in the US. So if it's only Bitcoin, it's more straightforward. But the basket of crypto reserve, actually, I don't know, but that we will keep an eye on. And of course, the Genius Act in the US, which lays the foundation for stablecoin, payment stablecoin, and cover stablecoin, they are not security, which is a good things we can look up from here as reference. And we all know that the stablecoin market now is dominated by two main issuer, the DT and DC. But if we look at the issuer capital that they account for is around 220 billion US dollar. But I mean, according to World Trade, global trade is 33 trillion US dollar last year. So if we look at stablecoin as a mean for global trade, we still have huge room to grow. And I think we have high expectation for Hong Kong to issue new stablecoin to deal with proper global trade. I think there's still a huge market for us to build into. And the existing market represents some kind of global trade that they are settling. But there are actually a huge more room for Hong Kong to actually to issue new products. And I look forward to stablecoin being issued in Hong Kong to deal with a big part of the global trade. And of course, I've been looking into Hester's 48 questions, where she categorized in the SEC side into 10 main questions and framework, what they are looking into. I think that's a good reference for us to take here. Then I think there will be a lot of changes in the legislation side in the US. And the US SEC's crypto taxonomy, actually, they have defined ways of how to categorize. As I mentioned, if we have 4 or 5 different group of virtual assets, how do you categorize them? Are they a product? Are they securities? How do you define those? There are different cryptocurrency or crypto assets natures. So how do you define? The US actually, SEC, they lay draft for the way to define the different category, whether they are securities or not. And for the Europe, MiCA, is the licensing regime in the Europe. They also define ways to actually separate the crypto assets into different categories. Whether this is a CBDC stablecoin, then they will fall under different sets of rules and regulations. If it's a crypto asset, whether it's a utility token, NFT, whether it's other assets, so that will have different kind of regulations to govern them. And Hong Kong MA has mentioned that they are following or studying the Basel crypto asset standards. So this is a flow chart where you decide these products, different crypto assets, what classification they should be in. So simply said, Group 1A will be tokenized security products, which are originally issued as security product, like bonds with tokenized. Then it will be 1A. 1B will be more like stablecoin. And 2A will be the mainstream mainstream crypto products that we know in Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc. And 2B will be more risky crypto products. So this is a flowchart where I think we need global discussions on in the Basel area. How do we deal with these crypto products? I think that will impact on how products being issued and categorized, and who can deal with particular kind of products. And meme coin, of course, we have to touch on the meme coin, which is a big thing in the US in the last few months. I personally, my own feeling, I agree with the SEC's line that meme coin should be like collectibles. They are like trading cards or art pieces. Whether meme coin should be traded on licensed exchange, that's my personal field. May not be a good choice. If it's as a meme coin, it's a collectible, we also shouldn't call the people buying and selling as investors. If you ask me, meme coin, you should call them traders. You trade football cards, you trade Pokemon cards, you trade artwork, so these are traders, my personal view. So whether meme coin should be included in exchanges is something we should consider, because that you give a statement on what this asset class is. So I know a lot of the fiat exchanges currently, deal with all kinds of assets, including meme coins. But whether that should be included, I think that's my own point of view, that whether it should be included as a trading category in a licensed exchange. I think this is for the society to discuss. So the final thoughts. My time is up. We should now be able to clarify, what kind of tokenized asset we're dealing with. If these are originally security products, which is only being tokenized, we should not be penalizing it by just being tokenized. If it's a tokenized bond, tokenized equity, we only tokenize with the technology, which is improving the efficiency to trade, having a more efficient way, transparent way to deal with the security. We should not penalize it because it becomes tokenized. At the same time, we should come up with ways to define crypto products, crypto assets, the risk level, who can deal with this. Is it only for professional investors or retail investors? So these set of rules and regulations and guidelines, we need to come up with ASAP so that people can understand what they can issue in Hong Kong, what new token products can be issued in Hong Kong. We don't want, I personally don't expect, we issue a VATP license for exchanges to just let people buy and sell existing cryptos. But we definitely have to look into how we allow new token, new crypto being issued and launched in Hong Kong, where we can allow global investors to participate. So this is how we build the market in Hong Kong. So that's conclude my sharing today, and thank you for listening. Thank you.